Good morning. This is an introduction to spiral dynamics integral, the work of Dr. Claire Graves, as fostered and promoted by and improved on by Dr. Don Beck. This will be a very quick introduction, just to give you a taste of what it can be. And I've been studying it for 10, 12 years now, and I'm still learning new things. So you can understand the shallowness, but I'll do my best to give you a quick, enticing preview of what you can go deeper into over the next 10 years if you get caught like I did. First, let's imagine that you have a bowl of medium warm water. You put something in this water, and whatever else you have to say about it, it's going to be affected by the temperature. Now you increase the temperature in that bowl, and whatever you have in it is going to be again affected. It'll keep most of its similar properties, might change if it gets too hot, but the context it in is continually, if it gets cooler, if it gets warmer, it's going to change what's in that bowl. Well, if we take a look at human being, spiral dynamics integral, SDI, says that we exist in a bowl, in a sense, in a context of a general influence on everything else we're about. And we call these value memes. They're existential orientations that proceed in a natural developmental trajectory if the conditions call for it. And though there are 9 levels that have been articulated so far, what this means that you and I and all the rest of the people on the planet, we can go into animals if we wanted to, lower animals also if we wanted to, but our being and doing is influenced and oriented in ways that serve the temperature of the water we're in, the existential primary concern that is at the heart of our living. These are very simple and natural orientations. You'll find them quite intuitive, I think, as I go through them. Level 1, we have them color-coded, primarily just for a mnemonic device. The first level is beige, and the existential concern there is comfort, creature comforts. How do I get comfortable? It's right where a baby is. If those needs can be met, and there's capacity within the person or the group, then the next orientation can emerge. It requires a little more complex cognition. That's why capacity is important. And it has to be a context that met the needs of the earlier level. Then the second level can emerge, and that's purple, and that's how do we survive. It's a group orientation, and there's a lot of magic involved in it. There's the boogeyman under the bed. Those kind of things seem extremely real, and some of them might be. We don't have to judge that. But it is about where do we find food and shelter and take care of each other. If we can get that handled, and there is unused cognitive complexity, what can emerge then is the next level, and that's where's the power and where are my boundaries? It's a terrible twos project all over again that can happen at any age in individuals or group development. This is top dog world. This is might over right. Warlords, gang leaders. You might even find this in your office, where domination is the theme. This is a stage of development, and if the conditions, if stability occurs in your context, boundaries are clearly established and respected, that frees up some energy for those that have the capacity to even more complex cognition to go to the next level. And this is blue, and it's essentially what is our purpose? Why are we here? And since this entails a broader sense of time, before in the terrible twos everything's immediate, now we can defer our gratification and we can work together towards some end. If we get things stabilized there and the rules are clear and people are following it, life is pretty stable, for those that have capacity, groups and individuals, another level of complexity emerges, and that brings along with it the existential question of what can I do? What can I create? What book can I write? What company can I start? It's a home of entrepreneurial energy, a lot of creative energy. And we can also reach the end of this level, if you will. And it's kind of the Barbra Streisand song, is this all there is? I got all my toys now. I got all my achievements. What now? At the end of that adventure, in orange it is, if we've handled our creative needs, it can be that we emerge up into green, which is all about inclusivity, sensitivity, diversity, Gaia, understanding that, boy, I had all those creative drives before, you probably got them too, and it would do us all well and be fair if I listened and had a good appreciation for who and what you're about. If those needs get satisfied and your sense of inclusion and extension to have all of your people recognized and respected, it can be that cognition emerges again to an even more complex level. As we moved up this spiral, and I'll talk to you later why we call it a spiral, cognition doesn't increase linearly. Each bigger is a bigger. So you can imagine as we go up, the demands for cognitive capacity are quite high. In yellow, it's a huge step forward, and this is another kind of consciousness, if you will, another kind of awareness. It begins the repeating of beige all over again, and we'll go into the second octave. At yellow, a very important thing happens. It began in orange, where we began to get a little objectivity about our cognitive processes. At yellow, we're totally free of our cognitive processes. We can reside in a non-local consciousness that sees all of our cognitive activity. We are not owned by our processes anymore. This frees us up to see that other people are in their own stages of development or groups. They're at different places along the spectrum. And by the way, this is not a hierarchical spectrum, like it would really do you well to evolve a little bit higher than you were before. No, because you're not going anywhere in this model. What is happening is that you or your group is adapting to the environment. It's an adaptive intelligence that is most appropriate for your environment. That's all. So it might be very appropriate for you to be done at that red set your boundaries place at some points. And then if you have it, come back up to yellow and look and see if that was a right way to enter into your experience or not. The next level we talk about is turquoise, and that's when a bunch of yellow people get together basically, and they don't have any ego in the picture anymore, so they can merge their minds and create out of this pooled cognitive capacity. These are high, rarefied, and both of these, yellow and turquoise, are not very often present in our cultures because there aren't contexts that draw them forward. But if we understand that people do orient around this different temperature in the water they're in, then we can begin providing the life conditions that are needed to meet the demands of these people. When people's needs are met at this existential level, then conflict and tension and disappointment, if you will, in life diminishes. So here we have a developmental scale, a trajectory that can take human beings from the moment they're born to whatever level their world demands of them and that they have capacity to offer. There are a lot of subtleties and nuances and even some principles I haven't covered here, but we don't have time for those. You've guys gotten a little glimpse into it, and I invite you to go to groupspaces.com/CHEUSA to find out more about spiral dynamics. Google it and come to our webinar, which will begin the last part of April, a 5-session webinar, where there will be 4 other speakers talking about all change, the change that's happening in our world and what this model can help us understand about this so that we traverse these times in the most successful way possible. Thank you. Goodbye. By the way, I'm Tom Christensen, the Executive Director of Center for Human Emergence, United States, and this was done on the 2nd of April, 2013.